situation is, because it looks better than it is till you turn on your lights. You guys know how that goes, right? So I am here today with you guys for another Grow to Glow update and some things I wanted to talk about. And I'm going to try not to talk about the Olympics just because it's a lot, right? And I know we're all we're all talking about that. But I've been thinking about this for a couple of days. I always write these things down and then I never get to go live with them and stuff like that. So I am going live with this now, right? So this is my Glow to Grow, and if you guys see the title, it's "You Can't Glow If You Don't Grow Your Reach." And I want to talk about this. I know I talk about reach a lot. Like, we talk about SEO, we talk about reach, but I still see people not getting the reason why this is so important and thinking that it's like a temporary thing, like something I'm going to do some list building for a week, I'm going to post it out, and then I'm going to stop doing what I'm doing. And now I think I'm going to launch something, right? And I'm going to talk to that. I want to talk about that, right? And why that is such a problem, and that really hurts us in our businesses. If you look at your 7 and 8 figure and all the figure folks that you want to follow and be like, they are constantly doing two things. They're constantly producing, right? And they're constantly expanding and building on their reach, right? So they're constantly putting stuff out there so that so they're not waiting to the minute they're ready to launch something. They may not even know what they're going to launch, but they are constantly doing and on this build thing. And let me tell you, I just yesterday, and it's just by happenstance, you guys know me, when things start happening in order, like in divine order, I just know it's something I need to talk more about. But it just so happened yesterday I was asked to be on a panel at an event. And so one of the things I do, I have a folder that I keep all my assets. So if somebody asks me to speak at an event or anything like that, I got like all my pictures, my bio. Hey, I see somebody joined. Hey guys. I'm on my Instagram too, so I couldn't even see what's underneath it, right? But I have my bio, my pictures, my one pager, and a bunch of things, all in one folder that I could just send them the link and say, here you go, here's me, right? Here's all the things you want to know about me. And it's really dope, really convenient. I definitely recommend anyone doing that. If you guys want to see mine, if you're on Instagram, you got to come over to Facebook. But if you're on Facebook, check out my personal page or in my group, because I just shared it last night. So if you guys, and feel free, use it as an example, right? Don't copy what I did, but you can copy the style, right? So as I was doing that, one of the things a lot of people put, and I did not have this on my thing previously, one of the things a lot of people put is their numbers. Like, they put what's their reach, how many people on their email list, and how many people on their Instagram, how many people on their Facebook, how many people in all these places, right? So I'm going to be super honest, because that's what this Glow to Grow is, right? I'm going to be super honest. The first time I did this, I was like, I'm not going to put my numbers. I had just started the Girl Get Visible pages, so the numbers were low. And I was like, I'm not going to put it. I'll just put what I do and the greatness and all that other good stuff. And that's what I did, which was perfectly fine, right? But this time, I decided I was going to put some numbers, because not for nothing, I got some numbers to put, right? And some of the numbers, like, I did put my podcast downloads. And that was over probably like a year and some change ago when I did that. And then at that time it was 90K. I'm already at 135K from when I did that, right? And then I went through the other numbers. Like, back then, Clubhouse didn't exist, and now it does. And I'm already at like 9.7K over on Clubhouse. Thank you. Somebody said my numbers are dope. Thank you. And this is about my numbers, but this isn't about me and my numbers. This is really about why we all need numbers, right? And it's funny because, and I probably was one of those people back in the day, if I said this to you, I'm sorry in advance, who was like, numbers are just a vanity metric. Don't worry about your numbers. Numbers are just a vanity metric. And as I continue to grow and grow and glow and get older in my business, I realized that it's not just a vanity metric. I really feel like people tell you that because they want you to get started and they don't want you to like get scared and run away and stuff. And that's cool, but you can't stay at the starting block for the rest of your life, right? You can't stay in that starting position. You need to grow, right? You need to continue. You need to keep going. You need to get better, and you need to grow your numbers. So when people say things like, oh, your numbers are just a vanity metric, it's not true. I'm just going to say it. Like, it's really not true. It's not a vanity metric. Your numbers, right? Your numbers are an indication of how well your actual product launches are going to go. How well is it going to be when it is time for you to actually sell something to people, right? Because you can't sell something to no one. You just can't, right? You can't sell to a small list forever. I hear people all the time saying, "Oh, you can sell to a small list. You don't need a big list." It's true the first time. Maybe the second time. By the third time you're trying to sell that thing, especially if it's the same thing, right? And I'm not saying you got to come up with new things, even new things, but by the third time, you need more people to get in front of. So if you're not thinking of your reach, if you're not making sure people get on your email list, if you're not getting them onto your text message, if you're not getting them to your webinar, if you're not doing all these things, these numbers aren't for vanity. These numbers are literally the people that you're going to be able to talk to the next time, or, the time when you want to open up your products and get it out there, right? Okay, somebody said, and I don't know who that was, but I said, never heard that. LOL. Numbers aren't everything, but they are important. I'm gonna say, they are everything, right? I mean, because if you think about it, everything we do is a numbers game, right? I'm on 2 devices right now because I want more people to see this, because it's a numbers game, right? And when we say, and I know I'm not like picking on what you're saying, but when people say like, oh, it's a vanity thing, it's not that important. Like I said, that only works for us for but so long. You know how the first time you come to your family, you say, oh, I'm doing this thing, right? And I got this thing going on and everybody's all excited. People buy your stuff. But then the second time and the third time and the fourth time, now your family's kind of tired, right? They're tired of hearing it. And so you can't get new family, but you can get more people to follow your business, right? You can get more people on your email list. You can get more people coming to your site. You want to continue to see upward movement. And like I said, it's ironic that I was doing my numbers last night. And this was already on my list of things to talk about, but it's ironic, right? Things happen, divine timing. It's ironic I was looking at the numbers last night because I was seeing how much, like in big chunks, because I'm always growing. My list is always, because of my site, we get SEO traffic. And of course, I'm going to tell you guys, SEO is the bomb for this. People just get on my list literally daily. So I don't always see the big jumps. I might have a launch like last December. I had a really good launch that brought in like 350 people in like a week's time. So that was dope, right? But I don't always see the jumps and the jumps and the jumps and the jumps. Since being on Clubhouse, my Instagram is jumped. So hey, my Instagram folks, right? So I see these little incremental jumps. But yesterday was really a bit of an eye-opener and really solidified what I was saying. Like, one of the reasons why I've had so much growth this year is because my reach has also been really growing a lot this year. I've done all the things, right? So I can't even say it's been one thing. I will say Clubhouse has been really helpful. My site's always pretty helpful. I spoke at some really good events and in front of some really good, like I did Jennifer Allwood's Inner Circle members, which is a lot of people, right? It feels like Inner Circle would be much smaller. No, her Inner Circle is huge, right? So actually, well, no, I'm not gonna say that. Let's say her Inner Circle might have more than some of these folks going to Olympics, but either way. But so, I've got in front of that. I did some other speaking engagements that were really good and really big. So I've done things, and now that I look at it and I sit back and I'm like, oh, what do my numbers look like? I really see the impact of that. I really see the impact of, now that I've been steadily growing. I've been always working on it with whatever I'm doing. I'm always thinking about expanding my reach, growing, getting out there. And so now when I look back at what has been the difference for this year, the difference has been that there's always new people, right? There's always new people. So I wanted to talk about that in my little Glow the Grow update, because now update on what I'm working on, if you guys have not seen, which I'm actually going to do another live later, because I want to actually show you guys once this final piece is done. I hope it's going to be done later. So don't kill me if you don't see me live later. Just know that I'm sad in a corner because this piece is not done, right? If the piece is done, you will see me live, and I will be able to show you guys the full feature of this new podcast pitch directory feature that we have going on. That is pretty dope, right? So I'm really heads down working on that. But as I'm doing that, I'm also in the back of my head thinking, what am I going to do to grow this thing? So like once I build it, once I make it and all the other good things, what am I going to do to continue to make sure I get this in front of new people? Because I know like you guys have seen it by now, right? You guys have seen it. You guys have heard about it. You'll see and hear about it some more, but I'm going to need to continue to bring in new people if I want this thing to really grow. And that's something we always need to think about. When you are thinking, oh, I'm going to put out a new product, I'm going to create a new course, I'm going to launch a new membership, the first thing I want you guys to do, right? The first thing, I know I'm putting up two hands, two fingers, one thing, right? First thing I want you guys to do is to really start thinking, how many people do I need to grow in order to really get this in front of more people? What do I need to expand my reach to? Right. And also think strategically, like I want to do things that are going to always grow my list. That is my big thing. I want people to join my list. If you guys are not on my list, go over to girlgetvisible.com/SEO guide. You'll get a guide and you'll get on my list. Right. So you guys can go over there. It's one of my easiest ones that I always have. And I always have something. I always have something to tell people to go to because I'm always thinking of getting people on my list. Right. Because I want that to grow. But you also want more people on your Instagram if you're going to use Instagram, more people on your Facebook if you're going to use Facebook, more people in your group if you're going to use a group. Whatever your thing is that you're going to use, you're going to need to keep growing that. And you're going to need to keep it on like a little constant grind. One of the other things, so, you know, when Clubhouse first came out, you guys know I did videos about Clubhouse, talked about the Clubhouse, hot and heavy on Clubhouse. I earned myself a good 9.5K whopping followers on Clubhouse. And then I took a little bit of break from Clubhouse, right? Sat back a little bit. Hey, Africa Fashion Guy, how are you doing? Hey, Brittany, I see you there too, right? So I took a little break and I really wasn't on Clubhouse like that. Like I was going on, but I was really going on to hang out with friends. So I would be in like private rooms or a room that a bunch of people weren't on, you know. So I was on, but I wasn't on, right? I'm going to just admit it, right? So now lately I've been going back on more. I've been going on. I got invited to be in a room last week. I've been doing some more rooms. Brittany and I have been bringing back our the podcast matchmaking room. So, you know, a lot of dope things that are going on. And let me tell you, although I got that now it's 9.7, but I'm working on it again, right? But although I got that 9.5, that 9.5 is not as strong as it was just a few months ago when I was on more. And let me tell you why. And this is what happens to all of us, right? Because especially if you aren't continuously growing, this happens all the time. People who were there or who joined for whatever reason or followed for whatever reason, they are now either no longer on the app that much, or they're no longer in the space where they're working on the thing that they joined, like they followed me for, or they're no longer available. You know, the world's opening back up. People are leaving outdoors, right? Hey, Tracy, they are no longer available on, out there and doing all the things. So your audience, when you see your number, especially if you've been in business for a bit, right? And a bit meaning like over 6 months, right? So if you've been in business for a bit, when you see your number, that number is on the back end steadily declining, and not declining because they're leaving your list, not declining because they're dropping off, but just declining because they're changing focus, right? People change focus. You aren't looking up the same things now that you did in January, right? And the same things you're looking at now, and that you did in January, weren't the same things that you were interested in last year or 5 years ago. So people also change focus. So when you look at your numbers and you're like, oh, well, I've got 10,000 people on my email list. Is that how long you've been growing that? Because most likely on the other end of that there's like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people, not even the fact that they don't see it, the fact that they're just not even that into anymore, right? You guys ever read Steve Harvey's book? Is it Steve Harvey's book? No, it's not Steve Harvey's book, but there is a book. He's just not that into you. I love that book. If you're not in a relationship, read that book, right? If you're in a relationship, read that book. I think it's one of those books like, we need to know this. They made a movie out of it. The movie was cheesy, but the book is still really good. And it's a lot like Steve Harvey's Think Like a Woman, Act Like a Woman, Act Like a Man, something like that. It's a lot like that, but better in my opinion, right? It's a guy who really does, like, he's a relationship guy. So either way, good book. But it's also the same thing true in our list. and in our businesses is that sometimes the people just not even not that into you, they just may not be that into whatever it is you were talking about anymore. So although it, the film was good, but it wasn't like the book was like straight up facts, like facts. The film, like they had to make it into a storyline, so it was a little bit different. But that book, that was one of the books like got me through dating years, I promise you, right? And that's why I say everyone should read it. And if you've not read it, then I know this has gotten into relationship advice, which is not what y'all came here for. Well, I don't know, because y'all might have been changing. Look, might have been changing focus. Maybe you want some relationship advice too. But yes, definitely, I recommend the book. I really did like the book. But yeah, so you said I need to grow my email list again, always be list building. Yes, always be list building, always be almost people collecting. You know what I mean? We deal in a space as business owners. I'm saying this for my business owners. I know on my personal page, maybe not everyone's a business owner, but when you decide you want to become one, we deal in a space of getting in front of people. We deal in a space of working with people. Whether you sell coaching services or you sell deodorant, you need people, right? And so when you are thinking about how am I going to get this in front of more people? How am I going to make this more successful? How am I going to continue? Why isn't this growing? Why did I open this up and put it on sale? It might be, and nothing happened. It might be because you didn't have enough people. You didn't have enough people interested. So that means whatever list you have, you probably lost those people who are into something else right now, or you didn't have enough people on the list to begin with. Right? That's a whole other thing. So I just, in my membership, we just talked last week, and I know somebody's like, Kelly, you got an SEO membership. Why are you talking about these things? I'm going to explain, right? So a few weeks ago, we talked about opt-ins, and I was very strategic, right? So my members who are listening know that I was very strategic with this. I was very strategic that we talked about opt-ins, and I did a lot of work on telling you guys what an opt-in is, what kind of opt-in, options were available, did some feedback on opt-ins. I really want everybody to get their opt-in up, right? And then I waited about a month, and this week we are talking about launching. So essentially, if someone was following me, right, week after week after week, right, and they did last month and got that opt-in going, this month we're going to talk about launching, and they will be ready to go. And like I said, someone's saying, well, your membership is SEO, but let me tell you, SEO without conversions, without people, without cash at the end, is no good, right? We don't want SEO with nothing on the back end, right? We do SEO to get more traffic to people, but you gotta grab them onto your list. So you gotta continue to build, get that community going. You've got to give them something to launch into. You got to give them a product so that you can, and put it in front of them right way, which is what we're going to talk about with the launching that we're doing this week. But put them in front of people the right way. Like it's all a cycle. Right. So when we say SEO, yes, getting the people, but if you're getting the people and they're just flowing through like water, that's like a bucket with a hole in it. Who wants that? Right? Who wants the holy bucket? Right? Oh, the book I was talking about before was He's Just Not That Into You. It's a relationship advice book, but also it's a good book for relationship advice. But the concept of he's just not that into you also goes for your audience too, because they just not, and not even just you personally, they just may not be into what you talk about. Not everybody is at the I need more traffic stage. So not everybody will be like into what I'm talking about. Not everybody is at I need more email stage. Not everybody is at I even need to launch stage. Like people are at different stages. So just knowing that people are at different stages, even the people on your list, they might still be there. Some people join lists to do it later. People tell me all the time, I'm going to work on my SEO. And I'm always like, cool, great. I can't wait till you do, right? And I'm here when you need me, because they're not at that stage right now. So they might have joined my list, they may have come in my group, they may have gotten into the mix, but they're not at that stage right now. So one of the things that I need to do, especially before launching something, is I need to always make sure I'm getting new people. I need to make sure I'm getting new people that's into the mix, right? And that should be a continuous thing. So you should, like, I have my opt-in that I told you guys about, the SEO beginner's guide. If you guys want to go over to girlgetvisible.com/SEO guide, right? So I've got that. That's always continuously bringing in people. But every time I do a launch, or every time I'm ready to pull out a new product or new something, I do something else that's specifically going to say, are you ready now? Right? It's my are you ready now grabber. Because the moment I just open up something and I have not grabbed my people, and the moment that, like, I'm not are you ready now grabber, I am walking into that with like a false sense of what is going to happen. And I've got, you guys see the numbers. I just showed them yesterday if you're on my personal page or in my group, right? You guys see the numbers. I got some numbers. But even with what you think you got numbers, you still have to do work to make sure you got people who are ready to buy, ready to even entertain buying, right? And a lot of businesses, we just don't pay enough attention to that. We don't pay enough, which is why I wanted to talk about it in my Grow to Glow update today, is that I really want to talk about you cannot glow if you don't grow. And growing is not a one-time thing. I see so many people who are like, I built my list, and they go off to do the next thing. And that is the word. I mean, that's like telling my kid's 6, right? You guys know my kid, right? My kid's 6. But imagine if he stopped growing at 6. I'd be in a world of hurt, right? I'm just now teaching him how to tie his little thing. But imagine if he stopped growing at 1 month or 2 months. Maybe imagine if he came out like, oh, you got a baby. I'm done, right? He's not going to do any more growing outside once he was done with what was happening in the belly, right? That just doesn't happen. And that's not how your business should be. So you want to keep adding on. Don't believe when people say numbers aren't important. Don't believe when people say numbers are only vanity metrics. And like I said, even if there's something I said in the past, I think it is something I said in the past, but now that I'm wiser, I'm older and wiser now, I'm sharing with y'all, right, that those things are super, super important, because those numbers, especially, like I said, you want to make sure you got them. You want to make sure you're growing them. You want to make sure you're continuously growing them. But those numbers are an indicator of how well you're going to be doing. There's a bunch of like conversion calculators out there. Like I think one of them, and this is like real fuzzy math, right? So don't quote me on that. But one of them was like, if your product is at like maybe a 5% conversion, you need to make sure. So imagine if your product is at a 5% conversion, that means you at least need 100 new people to sell 5 of your offer. Right. And I'm going to almost say 100 new people like on the launch list, not the 100 new people who are part of your existing list. One of the things I took a launching course a couple of years ago with Laura Phillips, who's an amazing launch coach. Love Your Launch? Look up Laura Phillips. She's amazing with launches. But one of the things she would say, like she had 2 numbers. You had your list number. So, okay, I've got a list of 10,000. I got my list number, but then you have your launch list. And your list number and your launch list got really down to, these are the people who have raised their hand recently, like within the last 2-3 weeks, and said, I'm here for this. You should be doing a launch event, which all these things I'll be talking to my members about on Thursday. But you should be doing a launch event, and that's going to help you get your launch event, your launch list. But these are the ways you need to think about your numbers. Do I have enough people primed and ready, right, that now they're going to go into my thing? And I'm going to tell you, like I said, I want people on my email list, maybe in my Clubhouse, in the rooms, not just following me, right? I want people in the rooms of my Clubhouse rooms, right? I want people, I'm going to almost say, and I don't want to get into reels. I think I need to do a whole other thing on these reels situation. I plan on doing some reels, but let me tell you, there will not be a lot of dancing. If there is dancing, it'll be because I'm dancing to the song, not because I'm pointing to words and those words. Who's doing reels on here? Tell me if you guys are doing reels, and I'll decide if I'm going to go into my reels rant. And my computer just started glitching. I'm tired of talking about reels. Is Instagram mad at me? Instagram might be mad at me because I'm about to go in on these reels and they just know it, right? So here's what I'm going to say about the reels. Your reels, views, and numbers are not your business views and numbers. So let's start there, right? I got to breathe and say this to you guys, right? They just aren't. They are literally, we don't know if somebody's really stopping that reel. We don't know if somebody likes the reel or is even reading the words. A lot of you guys, especially business owners who are doing all this pointing and clicking, you think people are reading that, and they're not. They're not reading all those words. You're better off with the reels that actually say something. Yes, you might get less people viewing it, but you'll get people who really want to hear what you got to say, because nobody's reading all those words. Half the time you got too many words in the bubbles and they're going too fast. Like, I want y'all to look back at your reels, because I get annoyed, as you can see, because people can't even read what you're pointing to because it's moving on the screen so fast. And then I'll see people like, I got a reels and it got 10,000 views. And it's like, but what is that in numbers? How many of those people actually hit your inbox and wanted to work with you? How many of those people actually got on your list and wanted to do something? And half the reels don't even have a call to action. I know it's only about 15, 30 seconds, so you don't have time for all that. But If there's no call to action, then what are we doing here? Right? And so they're not leading you somewhere where, other than like brand awareness, that could be a blog post. I'm just going to say that out loud. That could be a podcast episode. Hey, Monty, that could be a YouTube video, right? So I'm going to try this Reels thing, but I'm not going to be dancing and pointing because it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. And it will be on the things that I need people to go to. Like there'll be some type of get you into the call to action. There's a strategy. One of my clients is always asking me, what's the strategy behind this? Because if nothing else, she's realized that most things that seem like they're all fun and games, there's a strategy to this. Right? Believe me, the people who are telling you to do Reels and are telling you how much they're making off of Reels or successful for Reels and all these marketing strategies, there is a strategy, right? There's a difference between a tactic, go do this thing, and a strategy. When you do this thing, this is how you set it up so that it's successful. There's a difference. And a lot of us, we're not getting that difference, right? And it's hurting us because we're doing all these things and wondering why we're not getting all these people, and see some of the reasons why. So I said I wasn't going to go on a Reels rant, but here we are. This is what you get in my Glow to Grow updates. So if anyone's new to my Glow to Grow updates, you might get a rant, you might get a tangent. It's just me talking about all the things that I am doing to really grow what I'm doing, but telling you guys about some of the lessons along the way. So I'm not going to go on for too much longer because I feel another rant coming on. But today's rant, if you got nothing else from it, is work on growing your list. Work on growing your reach. The other thing I've been talking to people about a lot is getting on podcasts, which is to me another one of the easiest ways to grow your reach because you're getting in front of somebody else's audience and it's something that lives on forever. And so many people aren't doing this. So many people. And it's easy to pitch a podcast. We have a podcast pitching room in Clubhouse. You guys can come on in, right? Somebody, Therese was in the room on Monday. We did a room, and Brittany, tell me when we're doing the next room. We got to talk about that. Probably going to happen on Monday. We got to figure out our time, right? But she was in the room and got four inquiries, literally in about an hour and a half. We were in that room, 2 hours. We were in that room, 4 inquiries, that easy, right? I'm working on a directory. You got to have all these people that you know are looking for guests that you can just go and put the information in and send them a pitch letter, right? This is what I'd rather you be working on than working on a video editing for a reel. Do a quick reel and get over to pitching yourself to be on some podcasts, right? Get over to doing some things that are going to help you to get in front of other audiences, engaged audiences, and are going to help you to grow your list. There's never a time I'm on a podcast that I don't get more people signing up for my email list that day or the next day or even after that, right? Never a time. So if you weigh it out, an hour talking to somebody, let's say a half an hour sending out some pitches and then an hour talking to somebody recording, and I always get somebody onto my list, or however much time you're spending trying to record, edit, blah, 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 reels. I want you guys to start taking look at this. Is this really helping me to grow my reach, grow my list, not just grow some likes and views, because that's not really helping you guys. So that is it. I promise you, last rant. I will talk to you later. If you are following me, thank you for being here. Share it out with your peoples. Let them know we are growing the glow. And I am telling you guys all the things that come up in between my first 100 days, like really doing all of these things. We're about 45 days in. And it's going okay. It's going okay. Right? I'll have more updates for you guys next week. Talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.